So, Pikmin 4 introduced two new Pikmin types to us. If you don't count Moss and Ochi and the Leaflings, it's just the Ice Pikmin and the Glow Pikmin. And of those two new Pikmin types, only one of them is considered by the game to be a true Pikmin type, with the Glow Pikmin's validity as a Pikmin type called into question by all sorts of in-game evidence. That being said, they play like a Pikmin, they look like a Pikmin, they act like a Pikmin, they sound like a Pikmin. They're a Pikmin in all ways except, I guess, smell? Louis says they don't smell alive, which, contrasts to the fact that he was able to eat other types of Pikmin, or at least to try to. It's a whole thing. Louis' notes are weird in Pikmin 4, but anyway. They certainly seem to taste like a Pikmin to the enemies that will attack them during the nighttime when they're after the luminals, so what gives? What exactly are Glow Pikmin? Should we categorize them as Pikmin? Are they even Pikmin? What are the similarities and differences? Today, co-writer DavoGato and I are going to be looking into what Glow Pikmin are, why they exist, and what the deeper lore implications about them are. My name is Vantage Emblem. If you're new around here and want to see more Pikmin content, subscribe. I post videos roughly weekly. I'm trying a new thing where I post shorts daily. So if you're into that, definitely consider subscribing, liking, leaving a comment, all that. Anyway, let's get into the video. So let's establish the basics. We know a few things about the Glow Pikmin directly from the context of Pikmin 4. From the notes in the Pikipedia, we have three different perspectives. I've joked about Louis already, he only comments that it doesn't smell alive, but we have much more complex and interesting things from Damo and of course from Olimar. Damo describes the feelings that happen when you encounter these creatures, which are generally positive. Olimar's notes, however, give us a lot more concrete information to go off of. Olimar's notes read, although they've been named Glow Pikmin, it's not entirely clear whether or not this species is actually a type of Pikmin. These creatures possess the same fundamental behaviors of Pikmin, like carrying things, propagating, and fighting. They also share special characteristics such as the leaf atop their head, yet they do not spawn from an onion, but from a luminol, and they are only active at night or underground. During the day, they revert into seeds and enter a resting state. What's even more surprising is that they exhibit no signs of life. When the Glow Pikmin dies, if that word can even be used, it does not expire in the typical sense. Instead, it just becomes a form of light or perhaps a photon and returns to the luminol. Putting aside my scientist hat for a moment, it seems to me that this creature or entity may not be a living organism at all, but some manner of spiritual substance. That's already a lot of weird information to work from, but it gets even more interesting when you start taking in more sources, such as the Japanese Pikmin Garden website. Now, I can't speak Japanese, so I'm going to be using the translation from Pikipedia, the free and best Pikmin wiki, which you should totally check out. I will have that linked in the description below. Anyway, their description of the Glow Pikmin entry on the site is as follows. A Pikmin that emits a pale green light and has a star-shaped flower. It differs from other Pikmin in many ways, including the fact that it spawns from a luminol and is only active at night or underground. Feature number 1. Pikmin. It lives not in onions, but in luminols. It has no legs and floats silently. It has a variety of resistances. Feature number 2, only active at night or underground. It appears at night to protect a luminol from nocturnal enemies. Dormant during the day as a seed. At night or underground, it turns back into a Glow Pikmin. Feature number 3, unusual characteristics. It exhibits movements that are unthinkable for living creatures, such as moving instantly to distant places and forming a group and emitting intense light. So this is telling us a lot of things we already know. Obviously, the Glow Pikmin have a very weird appearance. Unlike the Wing Pikmin that float because of something natural like wings, they just kind of drift above the ground with no legs or really anything carrying them. They're immune to all sorts of hazards, which regular Pikmin are usually only specialized to be immune to one. They aren't able to go out at day, which is interesting because all the other Pikmin types really like the light. They like to be out in the light, as we've seen from Pikmin 3. They kind of require light to live because their onions need it to grow, at least according to the yellow Pikmin in Pikmin 3. But Glow Pikmin can't be out during the light. It's a contrast to some of the most fundamental things that make Pikmin Pikmin. For example, perishing when left behind at night, or needing to come out from onions, which even white and purple Pikmin now have their own onions in Pikmin 4. As a matter of fact, the only other Pikmin types that are even remotely as weird are the Mushroom Pikmin / Puffmin from Pikmin 1, the Bulbmin from Pikmin 2, and I guess things like leaflings and the Pikmin dogs from Pikmin 4, but even still, these creatures tend to follow the same rules as Pikmin, requiring shelter at night, whether in an onion or in a cave, depending on the creature you're specifically talking about, being propagated in an onion if you're not a bulbmin, and even then, we don't know enough about Parasiticus Pikminicus to even say that they aren't made in an onion. The Glow Pikmin are by far the weirdest Pikmin type and break a lot of design trends with Pikmin. On top of that, they have the ability to warp and to form into weird spiritual orbs of intense light that can shock enemies. That's great. This is all interesting. But what does it mean? What is actually the deeper connotation here? We've had a couple months to sit with the idea of Glow Pikmin, and we've looked at a lot of community responses. One thing's for certain, a lot of people call them Ghost Pikmin. A lot of people see them as Ghost Pikmin, and they have a striking resemblance to the ghost of expired Pikmin. In fact, they're found at night, where no Pikmin can be found, and curiously, when they are defeated, they do not turn into ghosts themselves, but into these small orbs that the game does describe as photons, which go back to the luminol. So, our question to you, are these Glow Pikmin, known in Japanese as Hikari Pikmin or Light Pikmin, actually just Ghost Pikmin? Let's look at some evidence to back this theory up. The scientific name of the Glow Pikmin is Pikminidae supervelum, which people have pointed out, including on Pikipedia, could be a reference to the phrase beyond the veil, alluding to the ghost-like nature of Glow Pikmin. Additionally, according to Pikipedia's translation of the Japanese extended technical name of the so-called Light Pikmin, it is Light Pikmin of the Underworld, or Everlasting Light Pikmin. This may be referential to the fact that they're only encountered in caves and at night, similar to depictions of the Greek underworld or similar such dark places. It could also be referential to the fact that they cannot be felled, they keep coming back even when they are consumed or otherwise attacked, but again, no concrete evidence that that's exactly what that means. It could alternatively mean, quite literally, that they are undead Pikmin, that they are the spirits of fallen Pikmin. Additionally, the flowers of the Glow Pikmin are different from that of all other Pikmin flowers. Instead of just having the typical shape of the Pikmin flower, these Pikmin have flowers that better resemble the Forget-Me-Not flower, at least according to DavoGato. If these flowers actually are based on Forget-Me-Nots, is that a play on words? Is this a play on the idea that you're not forgetting your past Pikmin, and they aren't forgetting you, even after you come back to the surface at night? Even after they have already expired, they're still loyal and willing to serve by your side? Now, at first, I'll be completely honest with you, that seems like conjecture, especially because this is a pun that only works in English and doesn't really have any bearing in Japanese. At least until you look at the Japanese internal name of the luminol, which is Wasurenagusa, or the Japanese name for the same flower that we call Forget-Me-Nots here. How about that? Though the final version of the game has the Japanese name for the luminol reading as Light Anthill when translated to English, you can still tell that there is something deeper going on here. A deeper connection to the Forget-Me-Not flower, which is the flower used by the Glow Pikmin. At least at one point it probably was, considering its name is in the files attached to luminol. In fact, take it a step further, we know there is a beta onion that looks to be the same color as the Glow Pikmin. Is it possible that at one point the Forget-Me-Not flower was what now is the luminol, and there was just a design change that turned it into this anthill-like structure at some point? This would align a lot with what Louis says about luminols, which is, well, that they smell a lot like an onion. Perhaps they were much more flowery or closer to a Pikmin onion at one point in time and have since changed, but that's merely speculation. This video is focused on what we have right now and what it means for the Glow Pikmin, given all of the evidence we've been shown from the final build of the game. It seems that everything about Glow Pikmin, taking all of this that we've talked about so far, is about persisting on after death. And I think this is reflected in their abilities as well. Glow Pikmin are immune to all of the ways a Pikmin can die. They're immune to all hazards, directly. They can't be hurt by fire or water. Even things that would slay a typical Pikmin well, it just turns them into particles and they are reborn at the luminol. They are, in that sense, a higher form of being above death. On top of that, they are immune to one of the most traumatic things that can happen to any Pikmin player. Glow Pikmin are immune to being left behind. They warp to their leaders whenever they are left idle. As a matter of fact, that's one of the vital things of Glow Pikmin. Other than the Glow Mob, really they have nothing special to them aside from being immune to all the hazards and warping directly to the active player, meaning a player can switch between Ochi and their leader, and they'll have their Glow Pikmin with them no matter what. With the exception of being left behind in caves, just like Bulbmin, it is physically impossible to leave Glow Pikmin behind. Even at the end of a night mission, the Glow Pikmin turn into glow seeds that you can then use in later night missions or in caves. The player carries these glow seeds on them at all times. They're in their pack. And though they can't be used in day, they're always in the player's inventory, ready to assist. They are always there for you. That is the key ability of the Glow Pikmin. They will never leave you behind. Assuming they are the ghosts of expired Pikmin, that is really tragic. It's like the promotional song from Pikmin 1, I Know Uda, about how the Pikmin just love to help Olimar, but he will never truly love them, right? Which is tragic, and honestly at this point I'd say not exactly how Olimar feels about the Pikmin. He seems to care very deeply about them. But caring or not, Pikmin tend to get lost during a Pikmin playthrough. Whether left behind or defeated in battle or falling victim to some hazard, Pikmin tend to not all make it. Not every playthrough of Pikmin is a deathless Pikmin run, and in fact, it can be implied that even without the interference of the player, Pikmin probably have died before on the planet. But Glow Pikmin can't be left behind. They cannot fall victim to all of the hazards that would hurt normal Pikmin, and even when they do, they are just rejuvenated. They cannot be forgotten. Forget-me-not. That's the idea of the Glow Pikmin, the Forget-me-not flower. But do all Pikmin become a Glow Pikmin? Or is this only what happens to certain expired Pikmin? I propose the following theory. Luminols are found in the location where Pikmin onions are, and this is expressly stated in-game both through the gameplay and through the notes of certain characters. Are the Glow Pikmin just the ghosts of Pikmin that have been left behind, who have then seeped into the soil and were reborn through the luminols at these locations? I think there's a lot of evidence for this, specifically through this suite of abilities we talked about. They're immune to the one thing lethal to all Pikmin types, which is being left behind. That is their key ability, but they're also a conglomerate, a whole. They're able to turn into a glow mob, a unit, a unity, in the same way that the Pikmin are able to all go back together in the Onion. And of course, Pikmin are left behind all try to head back to the Onion landing site anyway, because that's been their behavior since the very first Pikmin game. So maybe this is what happens to your Pikmin when they've been left behind. Matter of fact, the first Pikmin game has some unused graphics for a night mode that we never have been able to play. Maybe this is an old idea going back that far, but again, this is speculation. And I'd like to make this point without needing to rely on conjecture. So, to that end, I'd like to once again propose all that we know about Glow Pikmin, which is they seem to be not alive, and they seem to be found in the exact places where Pikmin die when left behind. Glow Pikmin, wearing on their stems forget-me-not flowers born through luminols that are internally referred to as forget-me-nots, cannot be left behind and forgotten. They literally are all about not being forgotten. I don't think it's mere fan theory or conjecture to say that they are indeed ghost Pikmin, or at least, if not ghosts, even though Olimar does say that there's something spiritual about them, some sort of remnant of your living Pikmin, or prior living Pikmin to you, which persist even after they have shed their physical Pikmin-y bodies. But what do you think? Do you think that Glow Pikmin are ghosts? Do you think that there's something different? Do you think that I'm entirely off base about this? Do you think that they are the ghosts of Pikmin who have been left behind? Do you think that the forget-me-not flowers are really important to this, or just kind of an extra detail tied to the fact that they were using a different flower design to differentiate them? Please let me know in the comments below. That being said, I'll stop rambling and end things here. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to DavoGato, who helped me get all of the ideas together for this video. And seriously, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, consider subscribing, leaving a comment, leaving a like, all that stuff. I have a Patreon. I don't know if you like Patreon, but I have it. I post some behind the scenes stuff down there sometimes. It's neat. But, you know, if you want to support me, that's a great way to support me. If not, that's cool too. That being said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves and let me know what you think about this Pikmin theory down in the comments below. Thank you guys. Take care. Cheers.